Hey gamers, it's me, everyone's favorite sexist robot.
So, you know how I briefly mentioned that I started watching My Adventures with Superman in my Mary Sue's Are Getting Even Worse video? Well, I got to the infamous scene where Lois Lane finds out that Superman and Clark Kent are the same person. Now, a lot of people are comparing her to Amber from Invincible, and I can see where they're coming from. But I'm mostly making this video to try and answer the question as to why this trope of superheroes keeping their secret identity hidden is a bad thing. It's been done 3 times now, in Superman, Invincible, and in Masters of the Universe Revelations. I will try to keep my thoughts on Amber brief, as I already did a full video on her, with my roommate and MisAnthro. If you want more information, check that video out. But basically, Mark reveals to Amber that he's and she says she always knew, which is clearly bullshit to anyone who has watched the show. We never got any hints at all throughout the entire series that she knew. The writers just pulled this out of their ass. She blows up at Mark for keeping this secret from her, and both of Mark's friends, one of which is a superhero by the way, join her side. Now, all of that being said, I can understand why she or anyone would be upset over something like this. No one likes being lied to, especially from their romantic partner. But she also lied to him about knowing, so by her own logic, she's also in the wrong. Mark wanted it all, to be the superhero and have a GF, but it was too much for him to handle. Sure, I think one day he would have told her, but they were only dating for a few months. Also, he did tell her. It was only after they broke up so she wouldn't leave him, but he did tell her. It wasn't right for Mark to string her along, especially for as long as he did. He should have realized he wasn't ready for a relationship and ended things with her or just took a break. However, that being said, he's young and bound to make mistakes. Also, by the way, in the comics, Amber reacted completely differently when she found out he was invincible. So, sorry, but you can't use the race card on this one. Now, as much hate as Amber gets, she's not even close to being as bad as Teela. Speaking of which, in episode 1, He-Man sacrifices himself to save the universe. But as he does, his disguise fades, and it's revealed that he and Prince Adam are one and the same. Teela then proceeds to blow up at He-Man's parents, who, mind you, just lost their son! And then she leaves the kingdom, who just lost their champion, putting even more lives at risk with her absence. World saved, woman most affected. Later on, when she finds He-Man in the afterlife, she tells him to let her be angry at him, because he never told her he was He-Man. He rightfully points out that he died, and she just retorts, and the rest of us had to live without you. The guy sacrificed himself to save everyone, and she can only think about how he kept a secret from her. What? Now I can understand her being upset over something like this. She just lost someone very dear and close to her, but she went to the afterlife to bitch about the one and only one kind of bad thing he's done to her. Bitch, are you for real? Now, before you make the argument, well, Jar, if she was a man, no one would be complaining about this. Well, guess what? In season 2, it's revealed that He-Man's father left his mother because she knew that He-Man and Prince Adam were the same person and never told her husband. But he's the one to apologize to her. Wait, what? So it's okay for women to do, but not men? In fact, I would go as far as to say what Teela did was objectively worse than what he did. I'm of the opinion that as much hate as Amber gets, Teela deserves way more. But I've already talked about both of these characters plenty of times in past videos. You guys want to hear about someone new? Well, let's talk about Lois Lane from My Adventures with Superman. I first heard about this show when people were making memes about how Lois looks like an adult version of that one girl from Owl House. So I decided to check it out, and when I got to the episode where Lois finds out that Superman and Clark Kent are one and the same, well, I had a lot of thoughts on it, but I wanted to see what other people's opinions were. Some people said that Lois was the new Amber, and I can understand where those people are coming from. Others also said that Lois was the new Amber, but they also said what they both did was, good writing, and they came up with some of the most nonsensical arguments I've heard in a long time. Others who really hate the character of Amber say that Lois is by no means even close to as bad as her, and a few people even said that what Lois did was objectively worse. But a lot of those people have based their opinions on different amounts of evidence. Some people only saw saw this clip, some people only saw this episode, and others have seen the entire show up to this point. So first I'll analyze this scene in a bubble by itself, then I'll analyze it with the added context of the entire episode, and finally I'll do the same but with a context of the entire show. Now if you have watched this scene without seeing the entire show, or the episode for that matter, it's still blatantly obvious that she gathered a lot of evidence that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person. She tests her theory out by jumping off of a fucking building! All I could think was, you crazy bitch, what if you're wrong? When you really think about this scene, it's scarily similar to the "if you break up with me, I'll KYS" in Minecraft. Like sure, she has a lot of proof, but she's not 100% sure or she wouldn't have done this. He saves her of course, and she starts acting like a child, throwing a temper tantrum, hitting his chest over and over, calling him a liar. Then this happened.
Lois, please, let me explain.
You lied to me, Superman!
I didn't lie to you, I just didn't tell you everything.
A secret is another type of lie!
Yes, not telling the full truth is a lie, but this is something that could hurt her, him, and lots of other people. Also, just like with Amber, he's only known her for a few months up to this point. He really has to keep something like this secret, not only for himself, but for a lot of other people as well. Also, right afterwards, Superman says this.
You hated Superman. You said he was a liar, and you were gonna find and publish all of his secrets. My secrets.
I would never do that to you.
Superman had every reason not to tell Lois because if a reporter reveals who he is to the world, everyone he has ever known, life would be at risk. A reporter is the last person on Earth anyone should ever tell their secrets to. Also, her saying she would never do that, he didn't know that, and I'm pretty sure she's gaslighting him right now. Also, would this mean she's lying because she said she would expose Superman, and now she's walking back on that? Then she goes on to do this shit.
I would never do that to you. I had no idea it was you until after the gala. How could you think that? You kept this from me, and I don't know what we were going to be, but that's all over now.
How could you think that?
Pathetic.
Maybe because you told him you would! Also the whole, OMG, I was going to date you, but now I changed my mind. That's like gaslighting 101 right there. I will say I think just from this scene by itself, she's worse than Amber. But still, even then, this scene is still handled better because at least the story isn't slanted to make her look like the good guy, and Superman can at least make a counter argument.
You jumped off a roof. I don't know what to think.
Then this happened.
You kept this from me, and I don't know what we were going to be, but that's all over now.
Unlike with Mark, who took everything like a little bitch, and then told he was in the wrong by both of his dipshit friends. But how does this scene change with the added context of the show? Well, a lot of people already know that Lois lied to Superman long before this happened.
Lois, you lied.
However, she apologized for that, but Superman's secret is 1,000 times more important than hers. Now granted, Superman getting upset with this makes him look like a little bit of a hypocrite, but her secret could have cost him his job, and she did it for personal gain. But his secret, on the other hand, is to protect those close to him. Lois also mentioned in an earlier episode that she can't stand it when people lie to her, because her father lied to her about her mother's health, and then her mother passed away. Also, Superman almost told Lois, until she said how much she hated Superman, so he almost told her. Now, I've heard from some people that if you want to be in a relationship with someone, you can't keep secrets like that from them. Now, sure, I think you should tell someone a secret like that if you're in a relationship with them, but only after you two have been in a relationship for years, not months. No one in the world tells their partner everything about their life. And if you say you do, then you and I both know you're full of shit. Let's not forget she stole badges. Sure, stealing isn't technically lying, but she still kept it secret from Clark till the time came to use them. But the main thing, in my opinion, that Lois has going for her is that in the next episode, her and Superman are allowed to talk things out, like real people. Also, she did give Superman plenty of chances to come clean. But still, I think this plot point happened a little too early in the story. After all, this is only episode 5. So, after looking through everything, I would say that Lois is the least bad out of all 3 of them. And also, this scene was handled the best out of all of them. By the way, I saw my friend Shady Durags talking about this one tweet on his live stream, and I think it's a good representation of people who like scenes like this.
This thing. Whew. This thing. This person, Yehu, whoever that is, says, this trope is excellent and is everything comic books are about. It's exaggerated drama for the sake of the story. A lot of you are forgetting that comics are basically fantasy soap operas, We are going back to our roots.
Wow, now that's word salad if I've ever heard it. It's not an argument at all. And I have to guess what this person's argument even is. The guy has no examples for what he's talking about. And also, just because something was done in comics doesn't mean it was good. I think people like the story of Spider-Man No Way Home a lot more than they like the comic story One More Day. It's really sad that over 13,000 people like this tweet, by the way. Like, does anyone as of late really enjoy what's been happening to superheroes as of late? Sure, a few are, but most, no. And as I said before, Amber reacted completely differently in the comics. So that's proof enough right there that this guy has no idea what he's talking about. The new stuff with Amber doesn't make any narrative sense at all. It doesn't add up that she knew he was a superhero and then got back together with him because he had a fight with his dad. This scene is 100% illogical in every way. It didn't go well for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man when Green Goblin found out who he was. I mean, after all, the rip-off Power Ranger made the woman from Titanic finish that prayer. When people found out that Tom Holland's Spider-Man was Peter Parker, it made his life a living hell. And he ended up risking the entire universe to get people to forget who he is. There's of course other examples aside from Spider-Man, but I think you guys get the idea. It's a good thing for superheroes, along with their loved ones, if people don't know who they are. No one likes this kind of plot point, other than the yes men who go along with it because they are told to like it. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this narrative about superheroes having a secret identity being portrayed as a bad thing in recent years? I mean, it's not really woke or progressive in any way, so the company BlackRock isn't pushing for it. Oh, by the way, if you don't know what BlackRock is, they are one of the main reasons for so much wokeness being in the media as of late, but that's a video for another time. There is only one reason I can think of as to why this is being pushed. Showrunners don't like it when anonymous people, like me, make fun of them. They don't like anonymous message boards like 4chan and other websites, let alone anyone at all who keeps their identity hidden. The media thinks if they knew who we were, they could sue us or do something much more illegal to us. Anonymity is the only trump card we got, and they want to take it away. We don't have billion-dollar corporations backing us up, or connections to powerful people. Much like a superhero, if people knew who I was, my friends and family could be at risk. After all, look what happened to Corpse Husband's family. So if I'm the hero in this situation, what does that make them? The villain, of course, and villains never play fair. But as the old saying goes, good always wins in the end.